Because the wind... I forget how it goes. Wow, I call myself a Beatles fan and I don't even remember the lyrics to one specific Beatles song. Hello everyone. Today I decided I'm going to go all the way downtown Toronto to see Valerie and the City of a Thousand Planets. I believe that's what it's called. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly, but the reason I'm going all the way to downtown Toronto is to see it in 4DX. Now 4DX is a sort of newer format, and apparently as of right now there's only one theater in all Canada that has 4DX, and that is in Dundas and Yonge Cinema. So that's where I'm going to go see it. I'm recording this ahead of time just in case my phone doesn't work, because I like recording out there, but the problem is my phone does a weird audio sync problem and it's more of a pain to edit. I'm still going to try it, but that's why I'm doing this now, just in case it doesn't work out as well. So my expectations for a film, I'm expecting definitely a quite original take of sci-fi, even though it is based on something that's pretty old. I think the comic or whatever is novel or book or whatever was in like the 60s and that, or early 70s. So I'm quite excited to see something fresh in the sci-fi genre that isn't based on something that's already been done in media. Something that isn't Star Wars, something that isn't Star Trek, something that isn't Ghost in the Shell, you know. Something that hasn't been really done before in movies or TV shows. I don't think Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets has ever been done before. But correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know. I am totally going into this, except for I've seen the trailer, which I think is a really good trailer. It made me really want to go see the movie, especially to the tune of the Beatles song, because I am super excited to watch it. I'm definitely going to be reviewing the 4DX aspect of the movie. Apparently there's like fog effects, strobe lights, bubbles. Yeah, you heard me, bubbles. Moving seats, and, you know, surround sound, all that jazz. It's like it's like D-Box, but with a whole bunch of extra little things. Apparently there's big fans, so depending on what's happening on screen, we're going to be living it. I'm just worried with 4DX, it might be a little too, it'll either be too distracting, I think, from the movie, or it will actually add to the experience. Like, for example, when I did D-Box for the first 2 times, I think it was, I remember Man of Steel being one of them. And the thing is with Man of Steel, I saw the movie by itself, and then I saw it again in D-Box. And D-Box actually sort of, the little shifts in that to the movie actually a little bit pulled me in again, even though I'd already seen this movie. It added a little more oomph to the experience. So seeing Valerie for the first time with 4DX, it's going to be sensory overload, I think. So anyways, here I go. Time to travel to Toronto. Now it's the day after, because by the time I got home from Toronto from such a late showing, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning and I was tired. As much as I enjoyed the film, I couldn't muster up enough energy to do the review, so now I'm doing the review. And I just watched yesterday Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. And my God, that is some very fun sci-fi film from beginning to end. Really neat. I loved it. It was very fun. I don't know if you know, but 4DX is special. It's like up a step from D-Box, where not only is the seat moving, you also got, if it's raining on screen, you'll get wet. If there's gunfights, there's like wind and there's blast blasts of air for explosions. The seat has vibration, as well as there's like these things that come up and jab you, like if someone gets stabbed in the back or something like that, it stabs you in the back. Not actually, but like just soft enough that it gives that sensation of getting hit in the back. And then there's apparently there's also snow and bubbles. I don't know what movie would need bubbles, but those are two options that actually didn't happen during the film of Valerian, because there was no snow and then there was not really any bubbles from what I can tell. There's also strobe light, and there's also scent. And giving a little review of 4DX, this was my first time seeing something in 4DX, and I figured Valerian and a City of a Thousand Planets would be the perfect film to explore 4DX, just in the sense of the sci-fi, and it looked like it was action-packed and all that. And there was a decent amount of action in the film. It's just, I was afraid 4DX would be a little too distracting, and for the most part it actually wasn't that distracting. Like, the fans on the ceiling were, like, they were a little bit loud, but I think they have the movie turned up because of the fans. Because the fans are not like really loud fans, but they were just like, there's a little bit of you can tell when they're on or not. It's just, the thing about the 4DX is it depends on your perspective. Because, for example, in film, editing and sound design is dependent on what the director or what they planned for you to follow. For example, if you had two characters, one went down one hallway, one went down the other, and there were two different hallways. One was like noisy and loud and crazy, and then the other one was just quiet and all that. When you cut between them, it usually, in this situation, the sound and everything would match whatever setting you were following when it cut. D-Box didn't really have that sort of editing. So, for example, if it was windy hallway and then you cut to something that's a little more quieter, and then or where there's no wind, and then go back to the wind would still be going throughout. It's kind of that sort of editing the 4DX doesn't have, because, let's face it, they probably didn't spend forever on making the 4DX match that specific film, because when the film goes out of theaters, what happens to the 4DX afterwards? Like, because people don't have 4DX film settings like at home and stuff like that, so it's sort of the downside to 4DX. And then there was a couple of odd choices, like, for example, even though it made it more fun, having wind when the spaceships are flying through space, having wind makes it feel more epic, but the problem is, I really don't think there is wind in space or something like that. There's some sort of science behind it. So it doesn't, I knew right there the realistic was taken out of it, but it was pretty fun to, when you have a character going through space, or a spaceship flying through, to have wind. So it's kind of a, I don't know, catch-22 when it comes to the 4DX. Overall, I had a positive experience. Valerian and City of a Thousand Planets was actually a pretty fun experience, if you take out minus the D-Box. With the D-Box, it was even more fun, especially for the first time experienced D-Box. But it didn't distract me from the movie at all, which I'm surprised. The only part that it sort of distracted me from the film, because they do label there is scent vision, but the thing is, that was probably the worst part of 4DX, is that the scent vision didn't really work. I don't think it worked. Throughout the film, I was smelling stuff, but I didn't feel like I was smelling what was happening on screen. Like there was one scene with a little bit of garbage, and the characters even mentioned it on screen, and I didn't smell garbage in the theater. I mean, did I want to smell garbage in the theater? Not really, but you know, you have scent vision. That's usually would be a cue to have some sort of garbage scent, and so the garbage scent didn't really work. And there was various parts of the films where I was like, oh yeah, I forgot there's also supposed to be scent vision. I would sniff in the theater and I'd be like, I don't really smell anything. But then again, what does a city of 1,000 planets smell like? Let's be honest here. That would be some tough smell design, in all honesty. I really enjoyed the chemistry between Dan DeHaan and Cara Delvinge. I hope I'm saying that right. They both did an extremely good job. Same with the rest of the, like all the, all the background characters to, characters that are only in it really for like almost like a cameo thing. I was surprised John Goodman, hearing his voice in this film, and Ethan Hawke. That was another big surprise. Clive Owens. I don't remember seeing him in anything recent, so it was kind of surprising to see him in this. Yeah, it was a really fun experience. I love just jumping into this whole new world. Or worlds, I should say, for a city of 1,000 planets. Everything from the designs, to wardrobe, to everything. It's just amazing. Sorry if I say your name wrong. Luc Besson, completely blows it out of the park. Especially considering what it's based off of. It definitely felt like I only got a little bit of an impression because I did see the, I believe, Film Theory talking about this movie and that. And judging from what I heard, it seemed like he kept it really true, especially from the final. After seeing the whole movie, I'm like, yeah, it seems pretty true to the original source. Designs were great. Definitely a lot of fun moments. Making it a fun movie overall. Great special effects. The 3D looked amazing, and there was so many little details that I definitely want to see this movie again. I definitely am gonna pick this movie up when it comes out. It's very good, and it was weird. There were so many. It felt like there was a lot of references put into this movie. But considering how creative and weird the entire movie is, all those weird references actually worked in its favor. Because Luc Besson, if I remember correctly, he also directed the Taken trilogy, and there was the most famous line from Taken. They put into this movie, and it was done between different characters, but it was just it made me laugh in the theater. But it actually kind of strangely enough worked for this universe. Thing I forgot to mention in my before was Luc Besson. He did the Fifth Element. In all honesty, when I first saw The Fifth Element, I never really liked it. I definitely want to view it again, just to see if I still don't like it. But it's just, I kind of never really got into it. Like, I did watch it from beginning to end, and I dedicated my time to it. I wasn't distracted. I wasn't doing something else and having it on in the background or anything like that. I was giving the movie my full attention, and I just didn't really like The Fifth Element that much, but I definitely want to rewatch it because I really enjoyed Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. Yeah, it's fun and original, action-packed, very unique in terms of characters, and just overall story actually felt quite fresh too. Especially the dynamic of who's the evil causing this problem and all that. Not gonna spoil anything. The one little spoiler that I definitely kind of want to talk about, which I felt was kind of the only thing, like there was a couple things wrong with the film, but this is the one thing that I was like, I didn't really like choice wise, is they killed off Rihanna's character, Bubbles, in such a weird way that I was like, did I miss a scene or something? Because basically there's a scene where they're fighting and Bubbles looked like she was fighting them really well, and all of a sudden when they escape, and then they bust through a wall, and then all of a sudden she's dying. Like, it was a very, I think, bad death, in all honesty. And also the fact that, because usually they would kill off a character if that character can't really get involved with the next part of the plot and all that. But watching the whole film and the outcome and all that, they could have kept that character alive, but just in the background and stuff like that. It really would have been better movie if that character was alive. That was definitely just kind of bad. Just killing off a character like that, especially without showing the specific reason why she died. Like, unless I missed something in the film, once again, there was a lot to look at, so it might have happened a little too fast. That what killed her. But anyways, I want to know what you thought of Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. I want you to have a nice day or night or whatever time you watch this. Have a nice whatever. Thank you again for watching. Check out my other stuff if you want. Like this video if you want. Subscribe if you want. It's entirely up to you. Thanks again. Boop.